The voice you listen to the most is deciding how far you'll go in life. What you tell yourself matters. Every great life begins in silence. Not the silence of the world, but the silence inside your own mind. Before the first victory, before the first failure, before anyone believes in you or doubts you, there is a voice. That voice speaks when no one is watching. That voice speaks when the lights are off and the excuses are loud. And whether you rise or retreat depends on what that voice says, and whether you obey it. Most people think their lives are shaped by circumstances, by money, by luck, by connections, by timing. But the truth is far more uncomfortable and far more powerful. Your life is shaped by the conversations you have with yourself every single day. What you tell yourself when you fail, what you tell yourself when you're tired, what you tell yourself when the result doesn't come fast enough. Those words are not harmless, they are instructions. The mind does not argue with repetition, it obeys it. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times, but listen closely to his inner dialogue. He did not say, "I am defeated." He said, "I have learned one more way that does not work." That single shift in language turned frustration into fuel. It kept his spirit intact while others broke under the weight of doubt. Dale Carnegie understood this deeply. He knew that confidence is not something you wait for, it is something you speak into existence through disciplined thought. Your inner voice is either training you to endure or training you to quit. Every time you say, "I can't," you are building a wall. Every time you say, "I'm not ready," you are delaying your own growth. Every time you say, "This isn't for people like me," you are shrinking the borders of your future. And here's the brutal truth. Your mind will believe whatever you tell it most often. It does not care if it is true. It cares if it is repeated. That is why weak self-talk creates weak lives. Not because people lack ability, but because they sabotage themselves before the world ever gets the chance. Strong people are not born with louder courage. They are trained through quieter discipline. They choose their words carefully, especially in moments of doubt. They do not lie to themselves. They do not pretend fear doesn't exist, but they refuse to let fear narrate their story. Instead, they replace reaction with intention. They replace complaint with command. They replace "Why is this happening to me?" with "What is this teaching me?" Because the moment you change the question, you change the direction. Your inner voice is the architect of your character. It lays one brick at a time, belief by belief, decision by decision. And whether you are building a prison or a fortress depends entirely on what you say when things get hard. Right now, even as you listen to this, a story is forming inside you. A story about who you are. A story about what is possible. A story about how far you're willing to go. And that story will either lift you or quietly limit you. What you tell yourself matters. Not someday, not when success arrives, but now, in this moment, while the future is still undecided. Because every decision you make tomorrow is already being rehearsed in your mind today. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly become disciplined. You don't magically gain confidence under pressure. You don't rise to the occasion by accident. You act exactly the way you've been training your mind to act. When pressure arrives, and it always does, your mind reaches for its deepest habit, not your motivation, not your goals, your habits of thought. This is why two people can face the same obstacle and walk away with completely different outcomes. One says, "This is impossible." The other says, "This will require more of me." Same problem, different inner voice, different destiny. History is full of proof. Abraham Lincoln failed in business, lost elections, was mocked publicly, and buried deep personal grief. Yet he never spoke to himself as a defeated man. His private language was one of duty and endurance. He told himself the nation mattered more than his pain. That belief held him steady while chaos surrounded him. Henry Ford was told repeatedly that his ideas were foolish. Investors laughed, engineers doubted. But Ford's self-talk was not defensive, it was directive. He didn't argue with critics, he instructed his mind to keep building until the world caught up. That is the difference. Weak inner dialogue reacts, strong inner dialogue commands. Most people don't realize how often they betray themselves in small moments. They say things like, "I'll start when I feel ready. I'm just not confident like others. Maybe this isn't my time." Those sentences feel harmless. They sound reasonable, but they are contracts with limitation. The mind hears them and adjusts expectations downward. Energy drops, effort softens, persistence fades. Not because you were lazy, but because you gave your mind permission to retreat. Strong minds do the opposite. They issue orders even when emotions resist. They say, "Do it tired, learn as you go. This discomfort is temporary." They do not wait for courage, they speak it into being through action-backed words. Because confidence does not come from thinking positive thoughts, it comes from keeping promises to yourself. Every time you follow through, your inner voice grows stronger. Every time you quit, it grows more doubtful. This is why self-respect is built quietly, without applause. It's built in the moments when no one is watching, when you choose discipline over excuse, effort over comfort, truth over self-pity. And make no mistake, your inner voice is always listening. When you insult yourself, it records it. When you doubt yourself, it remembers. When you encourage yourself, it responds. You are not just talking, you are programming. The question is not whether you will face adversity, you will. The question is, what voice will meet it? A voice trained to collapse or a voice trained to stand firm? Because when the world applies pressure, and it will, your inner voice will decide whether you bend or break. And the discipline of thought is not built in grand speeches. It is built sentence by sentence, choice by choice, moment by moment. It is built in how you speak to yourself when things go wrong. Because failure is not what breaks people, interpretation does. Two people fail. One says, "This proves I'm not good enough." The other says, "This shows me what to correct." Same event, different meaning, different future. Your mind does not respond to reality, it responds to the story you tell about reality. That story determines whether failure becomes fuel or poison. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb because he was immune to frustration. He invented it because his inner dialogue refused to label effort as defeat. He didn't say, "I failed thousands of times." He said, "I found thousands of ways that don't work." That was not optimism, that was mental discipline. And discipline is always deliberate. Left unchecked, the mind drifts toward fear, toward comfort, toward excuses that sound logical but lead nowhere. That is why strong people do not trust every thought they have. They question it, they challenge it, they replace it when necessary. A weak mind asks, "What if this doesn't work?" A strong mind asks, "What must I do to make it work?" Notice the shift. One searches for escape, the other searches for responsibility. And responsibility is power. When you take responsibility for your inner voice, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You stop blaming timing, luck, or other people's approval. you begin to realize that control does not come from controlling the world, it comes from controlling your response to it. This is where resilience is born. Resilience is not loud, it is quiet repetition, showing up again after disappointment, speaking firmness into moments of doubt. Strong minds don't wait for confidence to appear, they move forward as if confidence is inevitable. And the mind follows action faster than it follows words. This is why clarity matters. When your inner voice is scattered, your actions are scattered. When your inner voice is disciplined, your actions become aligned. You stop doing everything, you start doing what matters. Purpose sharpens the mind. A person without purpose negotiates with weakness. A person with purpose commands their energy. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" They ask, "Does this serve what I am building?" That single question eliminates hesitation. Because the truth is simple, you will never rise above the language you use internally. If you speak fear, you act cautiously. If you speak strength, you act decisively. If you speak growth, you endure discomfort. And discomfort is not a signal to stop, it is a signal that something inside you is expanding. Strong lives are not built by avoiding pain, they are built by interpreting pain correctly. Pain says you are stretching. Resistance says you are being tested. Fear says you are approaching importance. The weak mind hears danger, the disciplined mind hears opportunity. And over time, this difference compounds. Days turn into habits, habits turn into identity, identity turns into destiny. Not because of luck, not because of talent, but because of thought discipline. The strongest people you admire are not immune to doubt. They are simply trained to speak louder than it. And that training is available to you right now in this moment. Every sentence you think next is a vote for the person you are becoming. So choose carefully, because thought discipline doesn't just create strong days, it creates strong lives.
This channel isn't for everyone. It's for those who choose discipline over excuses.